We made it, y'all. We're here at fall camp. So today, the staff is going to meet and do a press conference this morning. We'll definitely react to that later today. And I want to jump out as we prepare for the practice, which I think is tomorrow, the 5 questions that your boy got when it comes to this squad going into fall camp. Also, jump in the comments, and I want to hear what your questions are, and we'll get some of those addressed throughout the week. So let's dive right into it. Before we do that, welcome to Unfair Sports. I'm your host, Jay. Thank you for pulling up to the channel. Of course, fall camp, man. I am so glad that we're finally here. Football time, baby. Let's go. So I want to dive into my 5 questions. I got 5 specific ones. And yeah, we'll see how this bad boy turns out. So let's get started. Team 131 took their picture yesterday. So we now know that we here, baby. It's football time. It's football time here in Oklahoma. And fall camp is always fun because a lot of the, like I said, questions that we typically have can now be addressed. And I'm going to start off. My first question is right here. Who is going to be the number 2 running back? Don't care nobody say number 1 running back is Jaden Ott. You don't bring in a player that could have probably went to the NFL if he didn't have an ankle injury as just to be another rotational back. No. He's your number 1. He's your bell cow. And even Jim Nagy said it recently on a few interviews about how much he loved Jaden Ott and how he scouted the heck out of him when he was trying to get him to come to the Senior Bowl because they knew that he was going to end up playing on Sundays. And so they thought that he may actually ended up last year. Injuries held him back. But so now we're trying to figure out who is that number 2 running back. And so for me, it's really between, is it going to be Javonte Barnes? Will you have the veteran do it? Is it going to be Xavier Robinson and Taylor Tatum, the young bucks that had a pretty solid year last year, now coming in to their second year on the team? Will they bounce back from last season and really take charge of things? Or could it be Torrey Blaylock, the young back? Could it be the true freshman that decided that he wanted to come in at some nice size at like 6 foot, like 2 and doing 2 and some change? Is he that dude? We don't know, but we do know that for Oklahoma, we've got to figure out and establish who that number 2 running back is. And it could be a committee behind Ott, which I wouldn't complain about. When I was playing NCAA College Football 26, man, he was Ott's beast. But everybody else in the backfield was also solid. So I don't know what it looks like, but I'm going to say this. It's Ott. I'm really, really curious about who that next person is. I want to hear from you all, too. Hop in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Who do you think's that number 2 back? Question number 2 that I have out there is wide receiver. Who's going to be the dudes that rotate in? We've got a pretty plethora of wide receivers that we can be excited about. And that's a plus for us as a team because after last season and losing 6 dudes, you bring in a whole bunch of dudes and you're like, okay, hopefully they'll be fine. But the good thing for Oklahoma is you've got multiples. Like it's not just 1. It's not just, 2. I mean, throughout the 6 that we added on top of the ones you already currently on the roster, we actually got some pretty good game-changing options. I think that you're going to see a lot more. I think Zion Kearney's blossomed into something. We've talked about him numerous times. I believe that you're probably going to get a good fit. I think Jacob Jordan will probably see some run. I mean, don't be surprised if he's out there. But when it comes to the newcomers, I'm wanting to know, is it going to be Keontez Lewis, Isaiah Satania? Is it going to be Jermichael Carter? We know injuries bug hit us with Giovanni Gibson, and we still waiting on Jaden Gibson to come back, so the Gibson boys. But which one of those 2 are going to jump up and be that next piece? Elijah Thomas is another option. He looks good fit-wise. There was a picture of the wide receivers that came out, and he looked good. Could he be that one? But I'm really putting my stock heavily into Zion Kearney right now. And I know certain people don't want to hear that. I'm sorry. Sorry for the pressure on the kid. He's the one I'm looking at. But I think as far as the rotations go, we'll do a depth chart right, later on in camp. Me and Cooper put something together for you all, but I know it's going to be Burks and Satania in the slots, in which I know that in Ben Arbuckle's system, there's a lot of usage when it comes to the slot guys. It's a lot of get rid of the ball quick, let your playmakers play in space. But Keontae Lewis got some speed, and so does Zion Kearney. So I think those two dudes are going to be ones that's going to be a very interesting combo on how we leverage them, not only in space, but with speed. And Jermichael Carter, that big body, he likes to make tough catches. So I expect him to also be fun to watch. So let me know what you think. Who, wide receiver rotations, who you got? Third question I have is, who going to win the edge job? Because our edges look good. So I was listening to Gabe and Teddy not too long ago. And one name that has been coming up a lot since the spring, actually it's been coming up since last season, end of last season, but really heavy here in the spring, has been Taylor Wine. Edge, he's now sitting at 6'4", 276 pounds. And they said that he can still move like the best of them. So you know R. Mason Thomas is one. You've got now Marvin Jones Jr., the former five-star that joined in. But then you've got Taylor Wine, Daniel Okoye, as well as PJ Adebaware that you're curious about. You also have Wyatt Gilmore, who's still he's a redshirt freshman, 6'4", 250-ish, right? You got him as well. But Daniel Okoye is considered the most athletic dude dang near on the roster. Like, that's all everybody's raved about. What does Marvin Jones Jr. bring you? What does he do to add to that room? I'm curious to see what that looks like. Edge is going to be a fun battle this season, especially because we don't know who's going to be that dude. So, edge-wise, let me know what y'all think in there. I want to hear your comments. Who you think could win out the edge jobs? This is going to be fun. I want to get y'all's feedback because we're going to be talking about this over the next few weeks because it's fall camp and we want to know what's going down. Fourth question I have is health at the corner spot. That is still going to be one of those, who's healthy, who's going to play, what does that look like? And we know that at the corner spot, we've got some good options this year, not only in current guys, but also in true freshmen. Like Jeremiah Newcomb is one that I've been hearing a lot about because he's a shorter corner, similar to Eli, but he's stockier. He's pretty yoked. So he's like a very low body fat percentage, but he's a redshirt freshman. And then, of course, Eli Bowen, in which we know that he was dealing with an ankle injury in the spring, so he didn't really participate in spring ball. We don't know what he looks like coming in. Will he be fully healthy coming up in the first couple of weeks of the season? Is he ready to go? No clue on that one. Kendall Doby's making his return from injury. Gentry Williams in that shoulder, he's returning from injury. So we've got questions there, but I think that we've got a good lineup of options. I'm really ready to see if Jacoby Johnson's going to show us that he doesn't have two left feet anymore and he can stay upright, because that was one big problem with him. He's kept tripping and falling in the wrong time. He's got the athleticism, he's got the ability, but he just would not stay upright. I think he's going to be upright. We'll see. But then you've got the young corners and Malik Hawkins, Tristan Haynes, as well as Cortland Guillory. And we know Tristan Haynes was a top 100 player in the country. Georgia desperately wanted him. He almost ended up there. If he wanted to leave the state, he was bouncing. I remember talking to his people. I saw them at the barbershop. Pop walked up to me and told me, he watched the show and he appreciated the coverage. And so, and my son goes to Carl Albert. And there was the rumors floating around that he was interested in leaving the state. But he's a good one. He has really, 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 really high potential. Malik Hawkins is a nice size, big as his brother. I think he's bigger than Michael, if you want me to be absolutely honest. He looks it, but I don't know. Kendall Doby, Gentry Williams, Eli Bowen are your three. You're really curious about that. But you're still going to have some good rotations. Devon Jordan still got the speed. He's slight, but he's got the speed at 5'11". And like I said, Newcomb is a stocky dude that you could tell been fighting his whole life. He may end up fighting his way into some rotations, but we've got big corners when we need big corners. I just need them to show us something. Let me know what y'all think on that. Hop in the comments. And our fifth question, the final question that I have going into fall camp is John Mateer real? We got to figure it out. He's starting to get that hype. Everybody's talking about him, and rightfully so. Dude is legitimately a really good player. But is he going to be that dude? Now, when we talk about his capabilities and what we learned about him in comparison to, let's say, our guy, Jackson Arnold, when he was here, is the really big difference that I've heard in practice, especially spring ball, was Mateer turned the ball over. Then he'll go right back at him. Whereas people in the know said he felt like Jackson Arnold kind of just, he wasn't as aggressive after dealing with an aggressive defense. We kind of saw that this season too. That last season, he wasn't pushing the ball in places he should have pushed the ball more often. Let's put it that way. He pushed it, but he didn't push it like he should have. He had the talent to do that. He should have done it. But Mateer's that dude when it comes to pushing it. Michael Hawkins as well. I've heard Michael Hawkins will force him in some spots too and get comfortable. And so now we get to see, is John Mateer that dude? I'm 100% curious about him. He sounded very confident when he was talking during SEC Media Days. And I feel pretty comfortable with him being the quarterback and doing some things this year. So we're going to see if he's going to live up to all the hype that he's getting right now. So let me know what y'all think. Hop in the comments. I want to hear all of your thoughts. All right. Again, make sure you tell me your questions. I want to know what questions you guys have. I know y'all like to fight in the comments and everything, but this isn't a situation where you need to fight. I want to know what you got. What questions you got? What do you think about the team going into fall camp? Where do you, what are your, we know your expectations is win, 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 but I want to know what legitimate questions you have about this team going into this season. Let's talk through actual questions and dive into a lot of that. And then we'll see if those questions get answered later. Like I said, I'm going to go through and I'm going to grab some of them and I'm going to notate them. Let's see how that goes. All right, we'll be back. I think me and Coop may try to go live later. I don't know. We'll see if it makes sense. We may try to do something on Thursday. I think Thursday may actually be smarter because practices actually start then. We'll have all the Q&A and stuff and coaches' comments and everything, and we'll break that down later on today. So we'll see either later tonight or tomorrow. We'll try to go live and chop it up about all of this. But make sure you hit that subscribe and bell notification so you don't miss anything. And we'll chop it up with each and every one of you very soon. Peace.